All right, let's take a look at systems designs. How do we deal with these massive systems? How do companies go about upgrading them and making them better? There's different ways to do it. And the old traditional way, my computer's slowing down a bit there, is the system development life cycle, where basically there's a life cycle to any system and that you follow these steps and rules in order to move through that life cycle. The waterfall model, historically, the waterfall model is the most widely used, and it divides the system development life cycle into a series of sequential or linear events, right? They happen boom, 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 like a waterfall. So you deal with these phases, and down here, oh no, they don't talk about that. Okay, yeah, so they're just going to stick with historically what has happened. So you deal with these different phases, and you've got a different type from the waterfall, which is an iterative design. Most information systems are developed using this process and involves designing, implementing, and testing smaller pieces of an overall project. So that's why it's iterative, because you're just saying, let's change this, let's change this, let's change this. Systems are so huge. The agile method is one of the most popular, and that's used a lot. And I wish they were just talking about iterative design in the agile process. But it is true that all these phases happen. They have to happen. So in the first phase, you plan, you figure out, what does the organization need? What do people need? What do we need this system to do? And it's basically like a big brainstorming opportunity to say, hey, what's feasible for us? How much money do we have? How long will this take? What do we plan on it actually giving us in return? That kind of thing. Then once you get past that planning stage, then you go into analysis, which basically a project team takes a close look. Okay, so we thought we could do it in this 2-year cycle, but it's going to be 4 years, right? In the analysis phase, you're really trying to get everything defined so that you know this is how long it's going to take. This is exactly what we need. We don't want to put this into the system yet. We'll wait for that kind of thing, so that you can meet all of the goals. You can create the system that's going to give you everything you need. Then you can guess the design phase is going to take that design and take this information and design something. It's actually going to say, okay, what is this going to look like? Let's go ahead and sit down and program it. What's that looking like? How is this going? And in some cases, the design phase might include a series of prototypes that can be tested. So in order to find out we're on the right direction, are we on the right path? These people that deal with this information have said to us they need this. We have that portion made. Let's test that and see if they like it. And quite often the reason they do that is because what the feedback that comes back is incredibly valuable. And then they go, oh, wait a minute, we misinterpreted what they said. They actually need this more than that. And that's a whole nother thing. And then they deal with that problem. And then, of course, the implementation phase is actually putting it into play, actually saying, we've got a new system, we're rolling it out, now you're going to use it. And often we'll start with a pilot group first, a smaller subset of people that are usually really sharp, really part of the team that's been doing all this, and like, okay, you try this system and let us know. So you're kind of transitioning from this design phase into a full implementation. And then finally, you end up with the maintenance phase. And then that phase, you are dealing with, let's keep it running. Any changes should be minor. They should not be big, like, oh, that field didn't accept enough numbers in it, or the text is too small on that. It's not changing things fundamentally, just changing little things until finally you're ready to begin the next phase in the cycle. You are going to be part of that. You are part of it. Anytime you go out there and you're like, man, they changed their website. That's part of this process. But every organization has this kind of process where things are changed. And again, hopefully it's in the agile process, which basically gets to what people want faster. It's not without its problems. But in any case, you're going to be part of this process, and it's important for you to know it. And again, anything that you can pick up and remember, it'll be interesting when you get to the 201 class. if you remember any of that, if you're like, hey, I remember that we looked at this way back in my first semester and now I'm in my last semester, because it'll really help you. That's just another piece of information that you build on and don't need to, dig into everything. It saves you time.